on your feet with wit and flair. This fantasy game with surprises everywhere. Improv is our game, and bardic aggravation is our name. Ha! Maybe? No? Don't spit on me. It's always funny.
Even Mr. Positive was like, that's the best he could muster.
It made sense.
So what? Making sense isn't funny. Hello, welcome to Bardic Aggravation, where we discuss the role-playing aspects of role-playing games. And today we are going to be doing our improv series, which is very simple. We are going to be improving basic improv exercises so that you can also see these things and you don't even have to take notes. They're that simple. You can just memorize them right away. Just to get the muscle growing. You'll be amazed at how quickly your players and yourself will get better at this the more you do it. People go, they sit down at a D&D table and they want to improv because it's a role-playing game, right? It's not Warhammer. You want to role-play your character. You put a lot of time into this character and their backstory and what they look like and what their favorite food is and all the other stuff that nerds love to do. And then I don't know how to role-play it. Somebody teach me. Well, you can take an improv class, because that would probably be your best option if you live in a place like Chicago or New York or LA. We're going to give you that here, the tools that you need to, and we're going to obviously show you examples of how much it can suck.
You'll see us grow and get better and change. We are just like you. We are trying this thing out, and Kent's walking us through it.
I have a little bit of background in this, but
rusty.
I wasn't in Second City or any of that stuff. So,
Excuse me.
So yeah, this is stuff you can just take and do at your table, and you don't have to get up and move around because that's not how D&D works. We want to keep it to where you can effectively use this at your table in your game, where your sedentary nerds are sitting there with their bags of snacks, and they want to just improv from that position. So that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to show you today are the basic ones. These are the ones you want to start with. We want to make sure that before they even start, that they're not trying to get it right, because that's how you fuck it up. Because there's really only that one way to fuck it up, is by overthinking it. Don't try to be clever. If you're a funny person, it's just going to come out. If you're not, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to get into the habit of creating role play techniques and skills. They're not going to think too much. That's at least what I'm going to tell them, but they will, because that's human nature. And your people will do this too until they get into the habit of not doing that. They're going to feel uncomfortable. That's also the point of this. They're going to feel outside their comfort zone. They're going to feel vulnerable. They're going to feel all the things that people don't like to feel. But you get used to it so quick. All right, so the first exercise, and the most basic one, we're going to do is called different things by different groups and different people, but it's a universal one. It's first letter, last letter. See, it's called first letter, last letter for a reason, because yes, your responder is going to start their sentence with the last letter of the previous person's sentence. So if somebody says something that ends in a T, your sentence has to start with the letter T. There are going to be words that you can use the sound of if you want to. This is just so that there's not too many restrictions. It's to stop you from thinking too much. So if you just want to do with the sound, like the word enough, if you end your sentence with the word enough, they can start their sentence with the letter
Freddy.
F. Yeah. They can also start it with the letter H, because enough ends with an H. So this isn't, like I said, no rules. But if you're not responding with the sound or the letter, it means you're not listening to your partner, and that's wrong. You don't have to make a sensical conversation with this. Human nature is going to have a tendency to try to kind of keep it on topic, but don't worry about that. It can just be sentences, non-related sentences back and forth at each other. The important thing is that you're listening to the sound or the letter that the last person says. That's it. It's so simple. Couldn't be more simple. So we're just going to start, and Brandon's going to respond, and then they're going to go back and forth till I say stop.
My pencil has a dick.
Brandon, out of all the monster cereals, I feel like Frankenberry is my favorite.
Today, I would like to go to the zoo.
Ooh, I do like the zoo as well. I like the penguins and the polar bears at the zoo.
Oh, but I want to see a snake.
Okay. I'm a little bit scared of snakes, but I will go there for you.
Umbrellas keep my head dry?
Why do they keep your head dry?
Yearly, we have monsoons.
Now, don't be afraid. It's okay. We'll get through this together.
Okay. Stop. That was actually very good. But he said monsoons.
Oh, the S. I heard monsoon.
That means you're not listening.
I heard monsoon.
That's the only time you kind of want to stop him because he wasn't totally listening to his partner. And the point of this exercise is to get that going. So, all right. I don't want to interrupt too much because they were on a pretty good roll there. Go ahead, Brandon, you start this time. Or you can keep it going from there if you want to. Monsoons. Whatever you guys want.
I went to a baseball game yesterday.
Yesterday? I thought the Tigers were out of town.
No, they were in Toronto.
Oh, I love going to Toronto. The huge buildings and right by the river, they have all that great food.
Dummy. I was talking about Toronto, Arizona.
All right, who the fuck goes there?
Really? Everybody I know.
Wow, like what, one person?
No, everybody. I mean, the Duke of Wellington was there last week.
Okay, it sounds like a fun thing, but we can just go back to football since I like that better than baseball.
Love football, but not Gronkowski.
Stop. It's that simple. There you go. Now you get it? See how easy that was? And nothing mind-blowing, we're not going for that. This is just...
No, that shit was fucking funny.
All
right, it wasn't fucking that funny, but it was just words.
Just words. Just they were listening to each other. That's your goal. So if you're going to try to teach this to your table or something, that's all you want. You just want to make sure they're listening to each other. You don't have to stop them for not making sense or for anything like that. Just only if they don't listen, and then they get focused on each other again. This is an exercise. You would want it to go on longer than this, but I'm just doing this for example's sake for you guys. But you do this at your table, split them up into pairs, and then mix it up and all that. You go as long as you want to. What you can do to kind of add a little something to this one is just make it speedier.
Ooh,
so let's try to do a speed round.
Oof.
It's gonna be a fucking train wreck, but it'll be good to work up to that because a lot of times when people first start, there's big gaps that I say you can drive a truck through, and that hasn't been happening today really. But you can sense the little gaps, so you want to get into the habit of, and the way to do that kind of is to, when you hear that last sound or that last letter, just get that out of your mouth and let whatever it is follow afterward. Nonsense doesn't matter, but just get that. If you get that sound out of your head into the ether, something will come out. Something will come after it. Doesn't matter what it is. Brandon, go ahead.
I love the feeling of candle wax.
Xavier is the best X-Men.
No, I don't think so.
Aurora is good too, but I actually do like Gambit.
Go. Doesn't matter. Go.
Gambit is great, but I like Storm.
Morph is pretty cool too, but you're right about Storm.
Morpheus is the best. I think he is awesome.
Everyone hates Raymond. You said that earlier, but I think everybody likes him.
Okay, stop. You started out great. I was really surprised actually. Well, you stopped making the sound first. You got yourself caught up in... You said touche again, and you judge yourself for it.
I did, because you said it.
No. Just keep saying it.
It's
a T
you
word,
could say it. Touche again, and I'll keep saying it. Whatever it is, make fun of yourself. Doesn't matter.
That's the thing. You said the speed, and the speed's now in my head. It's like, okay, now it's...
But you were doing it until you decided to judge yourself for saying a word that you're going to have to say a million more times. Every time he says T, touche is going to be the first thing that comes up. It doesn't matter. It just shows that you're listening.
So you're saying do not judge yourself in this.
Don't judge yourself.
It's going to be anything.
Yes.
Just get it out.
Let me judge you. So there it is. It's very simple, you see. If you have any questions, I don't know why you would on that, but put them in the comments. We'll answer all the questions. And now we're going to move on to the second kind of basic exercise.
At this point, you should like and subscribe.
Yes.
That would be amazing if you'd like and subscribe. Like, give us some more people in this so we can get this
don't
message
forget.
out and share it with your friends because they probably need that help too.
Okay, so the next basic exercise we're going to do that you can also, again, do with your table.
Kung Fu.
Is just basic yes and, right? You always hear that yes and, that's what improv is, right? You're saying yes and everything. So this is just getting you in the habit of saying yes and. That's it. This isn't the way you would role play at your table. This is just a basic yes and exercise to just make that comfortable. All you do here is just pick up a basic scenario, but it has to be one where both people are working toward a common goal. That's it. If you do it something other than that, then the yes and is going to become tough and it's going to fall apart. We learned this the hard way because that's how we learn.
By failing.
By failing forward. They're going to do the same thing. One person's going to start, and then the other person's going to start their thing with yes and then add on to what the first person said, and then they're going to come back with yes and they're just going to keep building that way. So let's just say we'll stick with kind of the party planning.
You want to plan a garden for the king?
No, you're going to plan the king's funeral.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shit.
So you are the king's sons.
Brother.
And
Brother.
you have got to plan your father's funeral, the whole kingdom. King is dead. Somebody's got to take the throne. But before that, we have to plan a funeral for the kingdom. Give them a little location too. Let's say you are on some balcony on your castle and you're overlooking the grounds of where the funeral is going to take place.
I think the first thing we should plan is what our father will be dressed in for his funeral.
Yes, and what about the coronation for the next king? I'm really hung up on that.
Okay, you just change the subject on him. You just completely change the subject on him. Don't do that.
Why not?
You want to stick with each
Why
other.
can't I
Can you talk
change the
about what he's going to be dressed in? Because then you're not making a plan, are you? You've just made a completely different plan. Fuck
But I
the-
said
what he's
yes
wearing.
and.
He said yes and then he didn't. He was just. But who gives a fuck?
Why
That's
is that
not
wrong?
how yes and
Why
works.
is that wrong?
Because you're
Well,
not
that's a
yes
yes
anding
but.
the person, are you?
I did. I said yes and.
But you
I
yes
said the
butted.
words.
That's okay. That's not yes anding.
That's
Where-
not?
No, he's talking about what you're going to dress him in, and you're like yes and. Who cares about what you want to talk about?
I think the first thing we should plan is who we invite to our father's funeral.
Yes, and we should invite all the Grand Dukes of all the provinces.
Yes. And we should also invite their daughters. It would suit us.
Yes, and it would help us find women to marry for our next kingdom as well. But if we dress him in these clothes, how fancy should he be?
No questions. Questions are tough. Glad this came up because it's hard to say yes and to a question. Some you can, and you'll know which ones those are.
I think he should wear his fancy clothes.
Yes, and I think our kingdom will enjoy seeing him at his best. We should also talk about Mother.
Yes, and Mother shall be the prime queen at the middle of this funeral.
Yes, and I'm worried that she won't be able to handle seeing Father.
Yes, but yes, and she will do her job because she's a matron. She knows what lies ahead for them. So let's go back to where we want to put
Okay,
Father.
stop. That was an interesting thing because he said yes, but although it was still yes anding weird.
Was it a
thing.
weird yes and?
Because he said a mother, blah, 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 and you wanted to say yes, but she'll do her job as the queen, right?
Yes, and I should have said yes, and she'll do her job as a queen. Yes, but she'll do it. It's the same kind of thing.
It is. So this is where you get a little gray area because I would say that's technically yes anding. Let's make sure this is clear. There can be times in your game, in your campaign, in your sessions where characters aren't going to agree with each other or with NPCs. I'm not saying they have to say yes and
Ever.
everything like that. that's not, you want conflict. And yes anding everything is not going to allow conflict. You're saying yes and to the situation. You're accepting the reality of this imaginary situation is what you're doing. That's all yes and is. This exercise is just to make it a habit to accept things the way they are, and then you can disagree if you want to, but not in this exercise.
I think you can boil yes and in a D&D game down specifically to just having an open mind, not
For sure.
being one-track minded.
It's not saying the word no. It's, yeah, you're right. So if you have an open-minded person, is a person who doesn't say no. They say yes a lot, right? Even in real life. Say yes to life. Say yes to experiences. Say yes to these things. You're doing the same thing at your table. You're exactly right. That's what this exercise is training, that frame of mind, state of mind, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to try this with Rick, and we'll see what that ends up like, because I haven't done this yet.
How about you're the king and the queen? You're planning your daughter's funeral. You can plan a festival.
Maybe this village has the oldest living horse that a farmer had, and the horse just died, and the whole village is upset because they all love this horse. And we are the mayor and the innkeeper again?
There you go. I like that.
Or the mayor of this little village and the innkeeper, and we want to cheer the people up because this favorite village horse just died after it lived to be 150 years old, and that's crazy. And it finally just died, and the farmer's all torn up, and we're gonna make the people feel better and plan a nice funeral for this horse.
I think we should have singing at this funeral.
Yes, and dancing and a feast, not horse obviously, but something, maybe a big rabbit stew.
Oh yes, and maybe some beast, some roast beast, and some vegetables, and we should make this the grand celebration.
Yes, and we should play the horse's favorite music. Have the bards all play the horse's favorite music.
Yes, and we could also maybe get a large cake at the middle and set it up like a horse shape.
A horse shape. Yes, that's a great idea. A horse-shaped cake. Yes, and it'll look like, it'll have a horn in it, and it'll look like a unicorn, and everybody will think that the horse went to unicorn heaven.
Yes, and this horse could become like the imagery of the town, and we can just make this whole funeral grand.
Yes, a horse statue. We'll put a horse statue at the center of town to commemorate the horse. Yes, that's a great idea.
Yes, I know a sculptor that can do that for us. But this festival, should we have a party around this festival?
Yes, a party is a festival, dumb fuck.
Yes,
Stop asking me questions.
I'm thinking, should we
Don't me anything.
dance or should we...
Stop it. He's stuck now. His brain is just stuck on this track.
Stuck
Take it
on
off.
the track.
That's okay. That's good. Stop here.
You guys, what I liked about that is you matched each other's energies.
Yes.
You were high enough. You were so excited about this stupid fucking horse.
Because that's an important thing, you know. If you're listening to the other person, you're going to match their energy, and then, you know, that'll show. What's the scenario? Give us a scenario, he and I.
It's not a horse this time. I think it should be a golden calf that everybody worshipped, but it fell over and broke, and now you're trying to remake it.
A golden what?
Calf.
We're doing the Moses thing.
You're doing the Moses thing. The golden calf broke. You all worship the golden calf. What are you going to do to make it better and fix it?
So it fell over and it broke into a bunch of pieces?
Bunch of pieces. It's everywhere.
It was like up on some kind of pedestal or
It was on a
something?
pedestal, like everybody puts everything they worship on a pedestal, and now this thing is broken. What are you going to do to make the town happy?
We need to fix this sacred statue that the villagers all worship every day. But I don't think we should just remake it as it was.
Yes, we definitely do need to fix it. I think we should start by picking up the pieces.
Yes, pick up the pieces and put them back together.
Yes, but in a different order.
Yes, in a different order for sure. In a much better order.
Yes, I think the head should go where the ass was.
Yes, and the legs should go where the nipples are.
Yes, that totally makes sense. The villagers would love it. I think also the legs should go like arms.
Yes, arm nipples. Yes, that'll be great. Because the god of fertility is what this calf represents. So of course they would have nipple arms.
Yes, nipple arms. Do you think that we could maybe glue some of the pieces to make it look like milk? I think milk would coming out of the nipples would look amazing.
Yes, yes, and we can make it real milk come out of the nipples when they pray to it, so they'll think that their God is actually talking to them because look at real milk.
Yes, we could actually create milk coming out of them, like you said, and then we could have people get under it and drink the milk, and then they could become fertile. Oh, we could start our own little
Yes,
cult.
they'll think that they're, yes, fertile and babies everywhere and new townspeople to pay more taxes, and then they'll really love us.
Yes, and that's where it lies, is the taxes, because we need to make our town more rich.
Yes, filthy rich. We want to be a kingdom, not just a town. We need to be on the map. We need to be a place people want to come. And so if we make the best cow arm nipple real milk statue, people will come from all miles around to come and see this thing and worship here.
Yes, absolutely, and I think that this could be our new reckoning and put us on the map. This golden calf put together like this would be game changing.
Yes, and we should maybe put it on a big high, not just a little short pedestal, but a big high place so that people can see it from miles around. It'll be like a beacon.
Yes, and it would represent what we hold ourselves as above everybody else.
Yes, and we should change the whole name of the village to commemorate this.
Yes, and I think we should call ourselves the Golden Cow.
Yes, the golden cow.
I think that was good enough.
Yeah. So yeah. Very basic, very simple. Just listening to each other, saying yes and you can see how much fun that could be and where it can go to. But again, this is not to master role playing. This is just to get that muscle going, to get that to become a bit of a habit. So you don't want to do it once and done. You want to do this, I would say, before every session. If you're playing once a week, do it once a week, and you'll get better and better. If you're not playing D&D once a week, what's the matter with you? You got a life. So anyway, there you go. That's those are the two first basic exercises. Start with those two. Do them over and over. Do them every session. We're going to keep progressing with these exercises for you, so that when you watch the one next week, you'll see a progression from this. We're not going to redo this one, obviously, because that's the point. You already know it. See? So we'll move on a little bit, and eventually we'll get to some more really advanced ones and the stuff that will be hard. It won't be so hard because we'll have all this under our belt. We'll have these habits under our belt. So we're building a foundation.
If you have any notes or anything you want to say in the comments, add it. We'll use those in our next improv session. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Add everything in the comments. We love comments. We read them. We respond to them. We'll argue.
Kent will definitely respond to them daily.
Yeah. All right. Bye.